So about 2 weeks ago, DJI officially announced the newest addition to their drone lineup, and that is the DJI Mavic Mini. So I pre-ordered it the day that it was announced. It just showed up yesterday. As you can see, the box is still covered in shrink wrap because I haven't even opened it yet. So I just wanted to take you guys along as I get to know this drone. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm just going to do a quick unboxing. This is the Fly More combo, so I'll kind of compare that to the standard kit, and then I'll go back and talk more about the drone and some of the things that come with this kit. So if you're not really interested in the unboxing, there will be timestamps in the description if you want to skip to just hearing more about the drone. So with that said, let's get to unboxing. And as soon as I open this, first of all, I see the bag in here. I'm guessing most everything is going to be inside this carrying case. And then we've got a lot of boxes in here. So there's a big box that is super light. Do not eat this. So inside the box we have the main case here. We have 4 different boxes. This looks like just... Yes, this is just the paperwork, the manual. So sure enough, inside those 2 boxes, we have the 3 batteries in this box and the white USB charging brick in this box. And in case you're curious, the USB charging adapter, it's 5 volts at 3 amps. So 3 amps is a little bit higher amperage than a standard USB adapter, and I think that's used to fast charge these batteries. So I will set that to the side. Inside this big box that felt almost empty, 2 propeller guards. Get that out of the way so that we can talk about what you're actually interested in, and that's inside this carrying case. So we have the drone itself. This is the Mavic Mini. Surprisingly, the Mavic itself is not wrapped in plastic like everything else has been. That's kind of surprising. Over here we have, this is the 3-bay battery charger. Here's the controller. There are 2 more boxes inside this case. These are probably all of the little extras. We have the 3 phone cables. So that is a lightning cable, a micro USB, and a USB-C cable. So that should cover any cell phone that you have. So as a quick recap of everything that comes with the Fly More combo, we have the 2 propeller guards, the carrying case, we have 3 phone connection cables, 2 micro USB cables, a teeny tiny screwdriver, 3 extra sets of propellers, an extra set of thumbsticks. We have the USB charging brick, the 3 battery charger, the Mavic Mini. We have 3 batteries, and last but not least, the controller. So to compare the Fly More combo to what you would get with just the standard Mavic Mini kit, you would get the controller, the 3 phone connection cables, the micro USB cable, the USB charging adapter. You still get the extra set of thumbsticks. You still get the teeny tiny screwdriver. You get 1 set of propellers, 1 spare set, not counting the ones already on the drone. You get 1 battery, and then of course the Mavic Mini itself. Now, in case you're wondering, yes, that means that you do not get the charging bay. So the only way to charge this battery is to charge it inside the drone. You put the battery in the drone, connect the USB cable to the drone, and that's how you charge it. So price-wise, the standard Mavic Mini kit, like you see here, would come in at about $399. The Fly More combo is $499, so there's a $100 difference between those 2. And I did a quick comparison just to see if you were to buy the standard kit at $399, but then separately buy everything that comes with the Fly More combo, you would spend about an extra $249. So if you're planning to get even, say, 1 extra battery and a carrying case, you really might as well just go ahead and get the Fly More combo. So I'm just going to take the spare propellers and cables and all of those little extra things and just kind of toss them aside in the case for now, because this is really everything that I want to talk about. So I'm going to start off with talking about this charger. One thing that I really like that they did with the Mavic Mini that was not possible with the Mavic Air is USB charging. So with the Mavic Air, if you wanted to charge the batteries, you had to go find a wall plug. You had to use their funky proprietary charging cable, and plug in the batteries. With this, whether you're charging inside the Mavic Mini or using the bay charger, you're using a micro USB cable. So you have a micro USB cable in your car, connect it to your computer, you have extra battery banks. There's just a lot more versatility with USB charging. So I'm really thankful to see that, and it also just helps keep things a lot smaller. One thing that I've noticed though already with these batteries is that compared to some of the other drone batteries, there is no battery level indicator on the battery itself. So I see what looks like some LED indicators on the charger. I'm going to plug this up and see if it shows me how much charge is on these batteries. Okay, so at each little battery bay, there are 4 LED indicators that show the charge level of each individual battery. And when I put the batteries in, they were all showing 1 bar, and then these other 2 turned off, and it's focusing now on just charging this 1 battery on the end. One thing I have noticed is that there's a power button on the end of this charger, and at any point you can press that button, and I don't know if you can see those because they're very small LEDs, but at any point you can press that and it will show the charge level of each battery. Now, one thing that a lot of people are talking about with this charger is that not only can you charge it through USB, but right next to the micro USB port is a full-size USB-A port, and what that means is that if you have a charged battery inside the battery bay, you can effectively use this as a portable battery bank. So if you're out in the field and you have a charged Mavic Mini battery, but your controller's about to go dead or your iPhone's about to go dead, and you don't have a dedicated battery bank, you can plug a USB cable directly into this and charge your controller or your iPhone or whatever it may be while you're in the field. So I'm going to slide this over out of the way so that those batteries can continue to charge, because if it will stop raining today, I would love to go fly this thing. But I'm going to move on to talking about the controller. If you've seen the Mavic Air controller, this thing is very, very similar. Everything folds out in exactly the same way, and you still have the thumbsticks that store in the bottom here, and then they just screw on like so. Now, one difference I know is that these thumbsticks are plastic, whereas I believe the Mavic Air thumbsticks are aluminum, but I mean, they feel almost the same to me, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. A few differences though with this controller and the Mavic Air controller is that you no longer have a custom button up here. You just have the camera tilt wheel, you have the video record button, and the picture capture button up here on this side. You still have the power button, the return to home button. You don't have a screen, but I don't believe the Mavic Air controller had a screen either. One big difference though between this controller and the Mavic Air controller is that on the Mavic Air controller, there was a full-size USB-A port right here, and they have left that off of this controller, which is a little disappointing because if you wanted to use, say, a tablet, or even if you have your phone on a stand, or really any situation where the length of the standard phone connection cable isn't long enough, you could just take a standard phone charging cable and plug it right into the bottom of the controller and you'd be good to go. So they've unfortunately left that off, but I think I know how to work around that. I'm going to do some testing with this, and if it works out, I'll do a separate video later on just showing how to use standard phone cables to connect iPads or using other phone accessories with this controller. So now for the moment, of course, you've all been waiting for the Mavic Mini. One thing right off the bat that I don't like is just how loosey-goosey these props are, just flopping all over the place. It's just has me a little bit worried that I'm going to break off a propeller, so I'm sure that something like a rubber band will fix that, so not a big deal. But to unfold it, I'm unfolding the front legs out, and then the rear legs fold around just like that, very similar to the Mavic Air. The main difference I see is that these little extensions on the front legs, they don't fold up anymore. They stay extended just like that. So feature-wise for the Mavic Mini, I could probably sum it up by saying if the DJI Spark and the Mavic Air had a baby, it would be the Mavic Mini. Although at the same time, it kind of looks more like a Mavic Pro, so that's awkward. But the Spark only had a 2-axis gimbal, so they've at least upgraded to a 3-axis gimbal in the Mavic Mini, but the Mavic Air shoots 4K video, and the Mini maxes out at 2.7K at, I believe, either 25 or 30 frames per second. So sensor-wise, it does not have any obstacle avoidance sensors. It would look like it has 2 sensors in the very front, but my understanding is that those are entirely just for looks. It does have two sensors on the bottom here that are the vision sensors. Those basically just help it to maintain a steady hover even when it doesn't have a GPS signal. But outside of that, no other obstacle avoidance sensors. So if you want to fly it into a fence or a wall or a tree, it's not going to stop you. So if I remove this little gimbal cover, you can see the tiny little 3-axis gimbal on the front of this drone, which looks almost identical to the gimbal on the Osmo Pocket from DJI. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same size, so I don't know for sure yet if the filters for the Osmo Pocket would fit on this. I'm sure that people like Polar Pro will be releasing filters specifically for this drone very soon. But one difference I do notice, and this is kind of surprising to me, is that the lens is actually slightly off axis on this gimbal. So that surprises me because I would think that the image would be a little more stable if the lens was perfectly in line with the center axis. I guess it's not that big of a deal because, I mean, it does get some pretty stable shots. That was just something I was kind of surprised to see. Now, one thing that I really wish was different about this drone is the color of it. When I first started seeing a few months ago the leaked images of this drone, I thought that it was like a primer, like a prototype color, and no, that was actually the final color of the drone. Now, realistically, does the color of the drone affect its performance? No. So in that regard, not a big deal. The only thing that I'm not a fan of is the fact that this is the same color as a cloudy sky. So also being as tiny of a drone as it is, I have a feeling that on a cloudy day, you're not going to be able to get this thing very far away from you without losing sight of it. Now, DJI does have basically a sticker kit for sale that comes with these markers that you can decorate it however you want to and then put this giant sticker on top of your drone. So, I mean, that sounds like a dream come true for me. But that is an accessory that they sell. Looking around the drone, one of the major features that, of course, you've probably already heard about is that this drone comes in at 249 grams. They even have it printed on the side of the drone there. Now, the reason that's such a big deal is that in the United States, for example, you have to register with the FAA any drone from 55 pounds all the way down to 0.55 pounds, which happens to be about 250 grams. So you don't have to pay the $5 registration fee and register this drone with the FAA in the United States. Now, in other countries like Canada, for example, the laws are a little bit different, and it's actually a much bigger deal there that this drone is 249 grams. So I just think it's kind of funny that the limit is 250 grams, and so they release a drone at 249 grams.
I'm not touching you. You're touching me! Not touching.
Now, because that is so close to the weight cutoff, I was curious just to weigh this and see if it actually comes in at 249 grams. So right now this is without a battery or SD card in it, so it's going to be much lighter than that. And it's coming in at 149 grams. So let me pop a battery in there, open this rear door. I'm going to pop a battery in it. Now if I weigh it with the battery, it's coming out to 248 grams. 248 grams. I'm sure that once you were to add the propeller guards, you would come out, if I can get them to stay there, we are coming out to 297 grams. So, don't fly with the prop guards outside or you might have to register with the FAA. And just in case you're curious, the controller itself comes out to 244 grams. So really quickly, just talking about the hiney end of the drone, we have this little flap that you open up. That's where the battery slot is. I've already put a battery in it, but when you put a battery in and you slide it in, it clicks in, so it does lock there. So you don't have to worry about it, even if for some reason this little flap came open in mid-flight, your battery is still locked in, so it's not going to go anywhere. Underneath that, we have the card slot for the MicroSD, and then next to that, we just have a micro USB. So that's really all there is on the back side of the drone. On the bottom, there is some ventilation here, and then there is this little button. This basically is identical to what you see on the Mavic Air, except that it's on the batteries itself. This is actually on the bottom of the drone. There's the little button here. You press that and it's going to show the LED battery level indicator. So you press that once, and then I'm sure if I press it, and hold it again, it's going to do its thing play that typical DJI tone. And now we have the, pretty little Christmas lights in the back that tell me I haven't connected to a controller yet. So I can then pick it up, and same way for turning it off, I'm going to press it once and then hold it down, and that will power off the drone. Well, I can now see that one of my batteries has finished charging, so I'm going to end this video here and go try to get a maiden flight on this thing. But be sure to subscribe, because I'm going to have more Mavic Mini videos coming very soon. And if you have any questions for me, you can leave them in the comments section below. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time.